Do you think that when so few people have so much wealth and so much economic and political power, that that is an oligarchic form of society?
Well, I would note that President Biden gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to two people who I think would qualify for his oligarchs.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are looking at a perfect example of how to deal with someone who twists the truth. We've all seen the clip going around. Bernie Sanders, the guy who has been living on taxpayer money since before most of you were born. Try lecture a Treasury nominee about wealth inequality. Bernie decided to use Scott Bessent's confirmation hearing to do his usual move, reading from a script about how three guys have all the money and calling America an oligarchy. It's the same old socialist routine. Billionaires are bad, big government is good. But what Bernie didn't expect was that Scott Bessent would come prepared with something called logic. I want you guys to watch Bernie's face as Bessent reminds him that the people he is criticizing actually built things. While Bernie was busy being a career politician, these guys were creating technology and jobs that keep this country running. Pay close attention to how Bernie tries to use Joe Biden's own words as a trap, and watch how Bessent flips it right back on him. This is what a total shutdown looks like. Let's play the clip.
Mr. Bessent, thanks very much for being in the office the other day. Mr. Bessent, the United States today has more income and wealth inequality than has ever existed in the history of our country. You got three people on top, Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos, and Mr. Zuckerberg, who are now worth almost $1 trillion. That is more than half of the bottom of our society, some 170 million people. Three people, more wealth than the bottom, 170 million. We have more concentration of ownership today than we have ever had. We have more concentration of ownership in the media, where a handful of billionaires like Musk, Bezos, Rupert Murdoch increasingly own the media and the information that the American people receive. We have a corrupt campaign finance system in which a small number of billionaires in both political parties make huge contributions into the presidential and congressional campaigns. When you have a small number of multi-billionaires who have enormous economic, media, and political power, would you agree with President Biden, who last night stated, and I quote, "An oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights, and freedoms," end of quote. That's what President Biden said last night. I agree with him. Do you?
Senator Sanders, I enjoyed our visit.
Talk a little bit closer into the mic.
I enjoyed our visit, and I hope you got my follow-up materials that on the discussions, my previous writings on the tariffs and China. And look, the three billionaires who you listed that all made the money themselves. Mr. Musk came to the country as an immigrant.
I understand that, but what I'm asking you is, when you have a handful of people like Musk, who will soon be part of the Trump administration, and others, when you have three people owning more wealth than the bottom half of American society, when these people have enormous influence over the media, when they spend huge amounts of money in both political parties to elect candidates, what Biden said last night is we're moving toward an oligarchy. I'm asking you that question. Do you think, forget how they made their money, do you think that when so few people have so much wealth and so much economic and political power, that that is an oligarchic form of society?
Well, I would note that President Biden gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to two people who I think would qualify for his oligarchs. This
is not a condemnation of any one individual. I'm just asking you, would so few people have so much wealth and power?
But
do you think that that is an oligarchic form of society?
Senator, I think it depends on the ability to move up and down the income.
No, that's not really the answer. I mean, even if you had that mobility, no matter who those individuals might be, All right, but let me ask you another question. Right now in America, we have over 22 million workers who are making less than $15 an hour, and nearly 40 million people in our country earning less than $17 an hour. Shamefully, the federal minimum wage, despite the efforts of myself and other people here, have not been raised since 2009 and remains an unbelievable $7.25 an hour. Will you work with those of us who want to raise the federal minimum wage to a living wage to take millions of Americans out of poverty?
Senator, I believe that the minimum wage is more of a statewide and regional issue.
So you don't think we should change the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Bessent, millions of working class Americans who are struggling to keep their heads above water are paying outrageously high interest rates on their credit cards. Over half the American people who take out new credit cards are being charged interest rates of over 24%. 24%. During his campaign, President-elect Trump promised that he was going to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. I happen to think that that is a very good idea, and I will soon be introducing legislation to do just that. Will you, as if you are confirmed, be supportive of what President-elect Trump said and what I want to see happen, and that is to cap credit card interest rates at 10%?
Senator, I think we can both agree that many credit card companies have been bad actors throughout history, and I will get back to you once.
Now, very simple question. Trump said he wants to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. I agree with him. Will you be supportive of what Trump and I would like to do?
When President Trump takes office, and if I am confirmed, I will follow what President Trump wants to do.
Unbelievable. Did you guys see that? Bernie is sitting there shaking his finger, acting like being successful in America is a bad thing. First, let's talk about that oligarchy question. Bernie quotes Biden calling the U.S. an oligarchy. Really, Bernie? The same guy you have been supporting for the last 4 years. If the country is an oligarchy, maybe you should look at the guy in the Oval Office that you've been defending. But Scott Bessent's answer was amazing. He didn't back down. He said the obvious truth. Elon Musk is an immigrant. He came here with a dream, worked very hard, and changed the world. That is not an oligarchy, Bernie. That is the American dream. And then the best part, Bessent pointed out that Biden himself gave the Medal of Freedom to some of these same people. That is a huge, awkward moment for the left. You cannot call them dangerous oligarchs on Tuesday and then give them awards on Wednesday just because cameras are there. Bessent showed the full hypocrisy of Washington elites in about 30 seconds. Then Bernie tries to switch to minimum wage. This is classic Bernie. He wants one number for the whole country because he thinks living in a small town in South Carolina costs the same as Midtown Manhattan. That is not smart economics. Bessent was completely right to say it should be handled by states and regions. That is called federalism. It is written in the Constitution. Something Bernie might want to read again if he has free time between his 3 houses. And finally, the credit card interest rates. Bernie tried very hard to create a gotcha moment. He tried to push Bessent into arguing against Donald Trump's own policy, but Bessent handled it very calmly. He agreed that there are bad actors in banking, which we all know is true, but he stayed loyal to the president's plan. He did not let Bernie create division. The main point is, Bernie Sanders wants a country where everyone struggles equally and depends on the government. Scott Bessent wants a country where people can become rich by building things. Bessent showed clearly why he is the right choice for Treasury. He is calm, he is smart, and he is not scared of the socialist behavior of a man who has not worked in the private sector for over 50 years. But I want to know what you think. Is Bernie right? Is the U.S. really an oligarchy? Or is he just upset that people like Musk are more popular and more productive than he will ever be? Write your thoughts in the comments. Press the like button if you are tired of people attacking billionaires. And make sure you subscribe for more reality checks.